In my previous session, I talked to you about some of the problems that arise due to mother tongue influence and how this can be overcome. We talked about training, about using corrective measures. I would like to now proceed with some of the corrective measures that we can take with regard to prepositions. Most Indian users of English have problems with prepositions. Now, I need to brush up a little with your prepositions before we move on. I'm sure you must be knowing what they are, but I'd still like to tell you that these are words that show the relationship between a noun or a pronoun and other words in a sentence. All right? Prepositions can define direction, time, location and spatial relationships. The usage can be determined depending on the following: prepositions of spatial relationships, prepositions of direction, prepositions of place or location and prepositions of time. Now, let me tell you right away that there is no exclusive list for any of these and sometimes they overlap. Now, let me show you some pictures or images through which you will understand what each of these are, and therefore try to move on to find out if they are overlapping and how the use can differ when you start using your language. Let's see the prepositions of spatial relationships. Let me talk to you about a red ball maybe, alright. Let's see the first usage. We talk about the red ball inside or in the box. In the next picture we have the ball on the box. Just look at the pictorial description and try to understand. The red ball is at the left or the right corner of the box. So it is at the corner. In the next picture, the red ball is near the box in terms of position. It is near the box. In the next picture, the red ball is under the box. In the next picture, the ball is hovering over the box. So, over. Let's come down below and then you will see that the red ball is below the lid or the box. You have the red ball above the box. In the next picture you have a black ball around which are the red balls. In the next one you find the red ball going through the box. In the next picture you have one red ball among many red balls, black balls. In the next one you have the red ball which is sandwiched between two black balls. In this picture you have the red ball behind the box. In the next one you have the red ball in front of the box. Then you have the red ball running along a black patch, so along. In the next picture the ball has moved across from this side to that side of the red patch. All right. Then you have the red ball sitting on the steps or up, is positioned up the stairs on that picture there. In the next one you have the ball rolling down from the stairs. Here you have two balls placed opposite to each other on the red patch, the black patch. Then you have the red ball jumping onto the black box. Then you have the red ball which is jumping out of your black box. You have the red ball which is placed into the box, the red ball which is being taken out of the box, and then you have the red ball moving past the black ball. In the last row you have again the black ball which is next to the box, or it is by the box or beside the box, when you actually want to say that it is placed or by the side of the black box. Then you have the red ball which is leaning against the box. You have the red ball in the next picture which is tripping over the black box, or you have the balls moving from the top to the bottom, or you have in the last picture the two balls moving towards an end point. Now, these are some of the prepositions of space, and they show some kind of relationship when you are talking about how things are placed, the relationship, where something is placed, what is the relationship between the object and the preposition, the noun or the word that is there. Between two nouns or pronouns, the relationship is established I hope this picture makes it clear to you to say how these can be used. Now let me move on to my next image, where you have the prepositions of time. Prepositions of time can be used to show time, such as the time of the night or time of the day. When you have at night, at is the preposition here. At 7 o'clock, he woke up at 6:35 p.m. and went for a walk. We have holidays at Christmas and at the weekend. So at is used to specify some particular time in terms of your the clock. In the next few, you have the preposition on, that can be used to say or specify the days of the week. For example, he went to Delhi on Monday. The exam will be held on the 5th of June, or for particular dates, as I said, for 5th of June, or he will be here on my birthday, another specific day. If you want to mention the date, that could be also mentioned. And he will be here on the following day after the school reopens. So on is used with days of the week, or to mention specific dates or particular days. Then you have in, which is also another preposition, and which can be used, another preposition of time, which can be used to depict parts of the day, such as in the morning, he exercises in the morning, or months, let's say in December, in January, it is hot in May in Kolkata, it is very cold in winter, all right. Then he was born in 2015, or he was born in 1999, or whatever it is. So that is about specifying the year in which he was born. Decades, meaning in the 90s or in the 80s. You have all these songs that have come up on YouTube, where you have the headings, the title given as romantic songs, or you say spiritual songs of the 90s, all right. And then you have centuries, with which you can use in can be used before you mention the centuries. For example, in the 20th century, XYZ event happened. So these are three prepositions that can be used or called as prepositions of time. As I said, these overlap with spatial also. The use is what makes them different. But they specifically, these three can be used specifically for as prepositions of time. In my next list, I am going to talk to you about prepositions of direction. This is a list, maybe not complete, but a few are there. We already found that when I talk to you about spatial relationships, I talk to you about prepositions like beside, next to, near. Now you can use the word to the left of, all right. I have given pictures here. The post office is to the left of the bus stand, all right. So I use the word preposition to here. To the right of, all right. The college is to the right of the police station, all right, which means that it's on the right side of the police station. So you have many more examples here, such as between, which I showed you again in the first picture, where I showed you two balls and in between there is a black ball. So the black ball was sandwiched between the two red balls. Here you can have the two buildings were constructed between the playgrounds, all right. So which means that there's a building which is there with playgrounds on either side. Then you have behind, in front of, all right. The shopping mall is behind the post office, all right. In front of, across from, kitty, corner, to. These are all certain keywords that you can use. I am using these just to show you how the prepositions can be linked to certain other words when you want to use it to show direction. You have around the corner, from, you could say that the stationery is around the corner from the bus stand. On the main street, let's say that the shopping mall is on the main street. The office is on the 8th floor, or the college is situated at 415 Main Street, etc. Now I hope I've been able to give you a fairly good idea of how these prepositions can be used to indicate direction. You can use them with other words as we said, and therefore fulfilling the definition of a preposition, that they can be used, their words that can be used with other words to show time or direction or some kind of a spatial relationship. Alright, so I have a picture here. When you say you want to you ask somebody to turn left or right, you can use these words in collaboration with the following that are there. Now, prepositions of place and location or location. So again, you have a picture here which depicts where a certain thing is placed or where it is located, and again the list is similar to the ones that I showed you in the first one relating to spatial relationships. Like here I have the cake is in the box, which means that the cake has found its place in the box, or it is located inside the box. You can find it inside the box. Or in the second picture, the cake is on the box, it is located or is found in a particular place, where on the box, or it can be under the box, below the box. In the fourth picture, it is located above the box. In the next picture, you find it somewhere near the box. The next picture there shows you how far the cake is from the box. It is at a distance, so how far is it located, how far is it placed from the box. Then you can have it placed behind the box, and so on. So some of these are similar to the ones that I showed you with regard to spatial relationships. You have the pink cake around which are the yellow cakes, or the pink cake is one among so many cakes that are there in the last row. Again here you have the pink cake located or placed between two yellow cakes, and you have the pink cake and the yellow cake opposite to each other. They are placed opposite to each other. So I hope I have been able to give you a fairly good idea of how these prepositions are interlinked and how they can be used effectively. Now once you have got a good idea of how these are used, you can proceed to using them in your language. Use them judiciously after understanding what you actually want to tell. Alright, you can't say that you were sitting upon the scooter. Alright, so it can't be upon, you were sitting on the scooter maybe, but you can't be sitting upon the scooter. Alright, now let me move on to showing you some of these sentences in which prepositions have been used wrongly, and I have also highlighted in the following sentence about where the error is and how I have corrected it. Alright, let's take the first sentence. When he parted with his sister, there were tears in his eyes. This is a typical sentence that is used by most Indians. When you part from somebody, you have tears in your eyes, and therefore you say when you parted with your sister. The sentence should not be with your sister, parting with your sister, but you part from your sister. Alright, so the correct sentence would be when he parted from his sister, there were tears in his eyes. Let's take the second sentence. I told him on his face that he could not pass. Now just think of this sentence in your mother tongue. Alright, you don't say something on somebody's face, but at somebody's face. So the right sentence would be, I told him at his face that he could not pass or he would not pass. The third sentence, the teacher ordered me to write with ink. We don't write with ink, but we write in ink. Alright. I shall stand by you in thick and thin. Now this expression thick and thin means in any kind of situation, whether it's a very serious situation which you cannot get out of, or otherwise, whatever may be the situation. Alright, I am always there beside you. So I shall stand by you in thick and thin is wrong. You should say I shall stand by you through thick and thin. Alright. It is 10:30 in my watch. It is not 10:30 in my watch, but it is by my watch. Alright. You can't get into your watch to say it is 30:30. or 10 past, or it is 10 o'clock in your watch. It is by your watch. You can't get into it or in your watch, and therefore the construction should be it is 10:30 by my watch. Please open your book on page 20. All right. That's a very loose construction that most Indians keep using, when you should be correctly saying, please open your book at page 10. All right. Now these are small errors. You would have noticed that you have been saying the wrong sentences over and over again, because this is what everybody keeps saying. Now this is Indian English. All right. It has been accepted by many, and therefore you could say that as long as I can communicate my idea or my point of view, it's okay, people can understand what I am saying. But what is wrong in correcting a few of these errors and speaking it correctly? All right. So attempt to use the correct construction: by, at, in, with. Now these are some constructions that can always be corrected. They are not two major corrections that you cannot do. All right. So try to use the correct constructions and encourage others also to do it. So once you start using the correct constructions, others are also alert and they start using it. They might think you are wrong, but if they check up, they will know that what they are saying is wrong and what you are saying is correct. I have a few more sentences. Just let's have a quick look at them. They acquitted him for murder, meaning he was jailed or imprisoned for murder. This is not for murder, but he was acquitted of murder. Is that clear? Were there many people in the meeting? Or were there many people at the meeting? We went to attend a meeting, so there were many people at the meeting. China is in the north of India. Is that true? Or is China to the north of India? Where is it positioned? All right. I saw him sitting besides the minister. Besides meaning in addition to. So does that fit into this sentence? I saw him sitting besides the minister, in addition to the minister. Your meaning is not clear. So your correct construction should be I saw him sitting beside the minister or next to the minister, not besides, which means in addition to. Here you want to say I saw him sitting in, you're talking of location, place. So I saw him sitting next to the minister, beside him. All right. The lamp fell and was broken into pieces. The lamp fell, but it broke to pieces, not into pieces. The last sentence here that I have is cigarette smoking is injurious for health. No, cigarette smoking is injurious to health, and therefore you should not be smoking. I hope some of these sentences have been able to correct you of the wrong usages that you've been using over and over again. And I would like to conclude this session with a small exercise with about a few sentences where you can attempt to correct yourself if you think that the sentences are wrong. Most of the errors that I will point out to you in the exercise will relate to prepositions. I am giving you some options from which you can choose to make things easy for you. Let's take the first sentence. Mohini resembles dash her mother. You have options with, to, after, or no preposition required. Now read the sentence again and try to understand which of the options best fits into your sentence. Mohini resembles dash her mother. With her mother, to her mother, resembles after her mother, or would the sentence be Mohini resembles her mother? Which of these options is correct to you? Think over it. The right answer would be Mohini resembles her mother. There is no need for a preposition there. So you can delete all the prepositions. I know that your first option would be with, which is again wrong. So there is no need to use a preposition here. The sentence would be Mohini resembles her mother. Is that clear? The second sentence, conversation was carried on dash whispers. Conversation was carried on by whispers, in whispers, or of whispers. The sentence here means that there was some kind of a conversation taking place and people were whispering, they were not loud. So which of the prepositions would you apply in the blank? Conversation was carried on dash whispers. Conversation was carried on in whispers is the right answer. In whispers. Let me move on to the third sentence. You are trying to drag me dash a controversy. Controversy meaning something that is not agreeable, some kind of a debatable topic. Okay, so you are trying to drag somebody for or into something that is not acceptable or it is debatable. All right, so you have the options. You are trying to drag me in a controversy, or into a controversy, or for a controversy. Which one? You are trying to drag me dash a controversy. You are trying to drag me into a controversy. You are trying to involve me into a controversy. So it is into. The right answer would be into. I challenged him dash a game of chess. I challenged him dash a game of chess. I challenged him for a game of chess, or to a game of chess, or against a game of chess. Which one? I challenged him to a game of chess. That is the right answer. The fifth sentence, the college term will end dash a month. The college term will end with a month, in a month, after about a month. Which one? The most appropriate answer here would be in a month. Apparently the last option after about could also sound right to you, but that's why I use most appropriate. So the answer would be the college term will end in a month. All right. The next one, I wonder if I shall get dash my chemistry examination. I wonder if I shall get dash my chemistry examination. I wonder if I shall get at my chemistry examination, or in my chemistry examination, or through my chemistry examination. Which of the options is right? The answer would be through. I wonder if I shall get through my chemistry examination. Now the meaning here is I am doubtful whether I will pass my chemistry examination. That is what I mean by saying whether I will get through this. Alright, whether I will pass through the chemistry, pass my chemistry examination. Alright. The seventh sentence, it is natural dash man to make mistakes. It is natural for man to make mistakes, or of man to make mistakes, or by man to make mistakes. All of them apparently seem right, but which of them is most appropriate? If all of them seem appropriate to you, then that is definitely a MTI problem or mother tongue influence that you are suffering from. All right. So it is natural of man to make mistakes. That's the right answer. Of man to make mistakes, not for or by. Our eighth sentence is, I sent 200 rupees dash my younger brother dash money order. I sent 200 rupees dash my younger brother dash money order, which means that the money was sent and there is a method by which the money was sent. So which of the options would you like to use? I sent rupees 200 to my younger brother by money order, or I sent 200 rupees to my younger brother through money order, or I sent 200 rupees for my younger brother through money order. The right option would be I sent 200 rupees to my younger brother by money order. All right. The ninth sentence, many people have died dash malaria. Many people have died of malaria or from malaria or for malaria. Which of these is right? The right answer would be many people have died of malaria. Alright, not from malaria but of malaria. If you use from, you are using a construction that has been said because of your mother tongue or your first language, alright, your vernacular. So the right answer is many people have died of malaria, not from, not for. Obviously many people cannot die for malaria, alright. And the last sentence that I have here as part of the practice session is, the house consists dash 5 rooms, all of them leading dash the hall. The house consists dash 5 rooms, all of them leading dash the hall. The house consists of 5 rooms, all of them leading towards the hall, or the house consists of 5 rooms, all of them leading into the hall, or the house consists of 5 rooms, all of them leading inside the hall. Which of these is correct? The right answer would be the house consists of 5 rooms, all of them leading towards the hall. Towards the hall, the first option is of 5 rooms, all of them leading towards the hall. I would like to conclude this session with errors in prepositions. In my next session, I would like to talk to you about the errors that arise because of verbs and tenses, which is also another problem related to speakers of English over the years. So I hope I have been able to solve some of your problems regarding prepositions. More in my next session. Thank you.